chill version of Queer Games. Heck yeah, today! No, wait. That was tonally all over the place. But we can't go backwards, we can only ever go forwards. Queer Games Heck Yeah, where we play through a little LGBT game, we see what makes it tick. We give it like half an hour, just to give a little sample of it, just to kind of like always keep it fresh. If you ever read The Magic Faraway Tree as a kid, there's this big tree in the forest, and Fanny and Dick climb up it, and the tree is so tall it pierces the clouds. And every time they go up the tree above the clouds, a different island has moved over the tree, and it may only stay there for a few minutes or a few days or a few months, depending on the weather. And each land is completely different, each world, and they don't know what's up there. And it can be good, it could be bad. That's what Queer Games Heck Yeah is. It's like the Magic Faraway Tree, I think, of vodcasts. That was a very convoluted, nonsensical introduction. Today's game is... I never get that right. Today's game is What a Day That Was. I know nothing about these games, so if you don't like surprise content, look away. But, well, we're normally pretty good. I just will check the preferences while we're here. Often, if it's like a not safe for work game, there's a little option to make it a bit more safe for work. But that's not the case here. I have to take screenshots because I'm helping out with the Queer Games Festival this year. Are you ready? See, I speak text. My phone nearly blinds me as I flip it open. It's a message from August. Or August. Wait a minute. Oh dear. We'll say August. That you're not getting a phone call from the month, you're getting a phone call from a person. Or Blue Heck, as he's named on my phone. I shift slightly so I can text him back. Look at this font. The F's in these fonts are so old school. This is like a Shakespearean S. This is like pre-cursive. I completely misread that. I was really excited that it was using the old school S's that look like F's from like 160 years ago. But no, they're just regular F's, but with a little bit down the bottom. Alas. Yeah. See you at Harvey's. I checked my battery, 45%. Amateur. Well, I guess that'll have to do. I pull it off the charger and slip it into my pocket. I then grab my backpack from beside my bed, filled with toilet paper, eggs, and more supplies for tonight. Oh, what are they doing? I see. With that, I leave my room and head downstairs. The plump, short horse is surrounded by empty candy wrappers. Wait, I was going to say, oh, that's a funny thing to call your brother, but considering Queer Games, we played a furry game last game by your hands. This actually, literally, your brother could be a horse. We can never assume these days. Okay. I guess he and his friends already threw in the towel on trick-or-treating, even though it's only like 9:30. Nah, why should I? Maybe they'd like to know about that report card of yours. I bet they'd be super interested to find out how someone gets a D in PE. Look, it's easier than you think. My PE teacher. So at my high school, you had a different teacher every year level. So, year 7 maths, when you went to year 8, you got a different teacher. Because it was a pretty big school. Except, I had the same PE teacher, like every year. But there were other PE teachers. But I just seemed to get the same PE teacher every year. And we just did not have the same, what do you call it? I guess, the same worldview when it came to sport and exercise. And I really, I don't have regrets really, but I kind of look back at that PE thing and going, oh, I didn't come out of it with a love of sport and with a love of exercise and a love of team sports especially. But as an adult, I've discovered that I actually do love those things. And so maybe I wasn't ready at the time to kind of embrace those things, but also I don't think that PE teacher, I don't think he knew how to draw that out of me. And I always think of this one thing. He had this thing where the warm-up at the start of the PE classes would be a run around the oval. And I don't know if you know much about Australia or whatever, but we have ovals everywhere because we play cricket and we play a type of football on those ovals. And the ovals are massive. They're bigger than a baseball court. They're bigger than a basketball court. They're bigger than a baseball oval field, diamond, whatever. They're just really big. They're sort of the size of a running track, even bigger. And the warm-up was to do a run around the outside, which is a long distance to run on my little feet on my little legs I had at the time. But his rule was the two people who came last had to do another lap. I'm like, to this day, I don't understand that logic. He never knew, decades on, people would be able to record their opinions of his teaching style and put it online for everyone to see. But like, yeah, I just don't understand the logic of making the two worst people who are clearly struggling around that oval to make them do it again. Like, that's not going to make them better at it. I mean, it might because it's exercise. Okay, actually, now I'm beginning to understand. No, no, I do think if you're struggling to make it around once, that I do believe in exercise that you do reach your limit, and it's like flogging a dead horse after that. There's no point. Anyway, it's all coming back. It's all coming back to me. That's the power of queer games, is they take you places. If my brothers had dirt on me about a bad report that I was hiding from mum and dad, they would not have the mental capacity to withhold that information to benefit themselves. They would be running straight to my parents to dob me in, and vice versa. It's like, you give someone a button and if you press that button, it will launch nuclear missiles at your enemy, but they will also launch back at you. I'm pretty sure my brothers and I would have been like, I do have the good microphone, but I never use it for streaming because to me the whole point of streaming is just to kind of be really casual about it. But then that means I never use the good microphone because it's like a thing there or whatever. But maybe I'll switch one day. Fall, the cool autumn air greets me as I step outside. I can hear the sounds of kids running around. Oh, it's Halloween, right. Running around and the dull roar of cars creeping along the streets. I guess I could drive to Harvey's, but it's only a few minutes walk from my house. Besides, if mum and dad come back and my truck isn't out front, my cover's going to be completely blown. I'll be there. Oh, gosh, a bit of an essay. I'll be there later. I'll be there later than August, and Max. But it's whatever. Walking along the sidewalk, I feel a bit underdressed. Maybe I should have taken the time to throw together a costume, an easy one, like a cowboy or something. Then again, although August, and Max would tease me no end if I did. Oof, paragraph breaks, please. Every now and then I see people I know from high school. The most I offer them is a slight nod or a grumble of a greeting. After a gust of wind chills me through my jacket, though, I decide to pick up my pace. When I get to Harvey's, I can see August's car parked in front of the diner. Harvey's is sort of your typical diner, kind of pill-shaped, stainless steel siding, looks shady but is delicious. We come here all the time because it's pretty cheap. I do think this is another fairy novel, or anthro novel, or whatever, because is a bluebird a fairy? I mean, I think the word fairy encompasses... I can't believe I'm having this conversation. A, with nobody, and B, at all? Imagine you had a human-sized bluebird, but they still had, like, a tiny bird heartbeat. Because they go... That would be an odd human-sized person to meet. I'd be worried about them having a heart attack, like, every moment I was talking to them. The bluebird nods to me. Oh, yeah, I've done that bit. He adjusts his flannel shirt, smiling his default facial expression. Cade. Hey, where's Max? August. I don't know, late. Weird, I thought you were going to drive him. Was he at his mum's? Nah, he said he was already around here. So he was at his dad's. He turns his flip phone to me, and I read out loud. I would love it if there was a bit of sponsorship, advertorial in more visual novels. So he turns his, Samsung flip phone 2X17 to me, and I read the text out loud from the super crisp OLED screen. A few more minutes pass and the bell rings again, and we crane our necks over the booth and see Max enter. The tortoiseshell cat allows the door to slam shut behind him, right in the face of a poor elephant lady. Okay, it's definitely an anthro game. Okay, I'm on the page now. An anthro game with no character art. The power of words. He looks around the diner with a discerning gaze until he notices us waving him over. He walks over, giving the both of us a curt nod. He sighs, fiddling one of the cream packets in his hands. Wait, is he a bird? I forget what animal he is. I think he's a tortoiseshell cat. Okay, he's a cat. He does have hands. Okay. We played a game the other day, By Your Hands, and one of the animals in it was a tiger. And I went on a little side tangent about how tigers are like the scariest creatures. And my proof of that was that we have evolved specifically to see them stick out in the jungle. Everything else is green, but we see tigers as orange, bright orange, because that's how freaking deadly they are to humans historically. And then that night, I had the most vivid dream about being chased by a tiger. I was like in a park with some friends, and then we look over on the other side of the oval. Yeah, the oval. It was a massive tiger, about, the size of a minivan kind of thing. And we're like, my friend was like, let's run, let's run, let's run. And they ran, but I tripped over. But it was on the other side of the oval, so that's fine. But then when I looked back, it was coming this way. And yeah, it was just super vivid. Just the most vivid dream. I'd say top 5 most vivid dreams I can ever remember having. So clearly the furry games are unlocking something in me. Or is it just tigers? Oh, I mean, I don't hold doors for people. He leans back in the booth with a sigh. Both August and I stare at him. He grunts, shrugging. Wait, do cats grunt? I'm super confused. Well, what? You guys are looking at me like I'm insane. Yeah, because it's like, I don't know, the right thing to do? August looks at me with an awkward smile, as if to ask for my support. I nod in agreement. Come on, we're about to go out and egg and TP houses and heck, and you're going to lecture me about the right thing to do? He makes a good point. Second, what kind of guy just lets the door slam when there's a girl right behind him? I just don't want to waste time. He's got a good future as an engineer, software engineer. If you don't hurry up to catch the door yourself, that's on you, not me. It's very engineery. August lets out a dry laugh, shaking his head. Bar my milkshake and a few of my fries. Come on, Cade, finish up. Max grumbles as he checks his Samsung flip phone 2X17 with a super crisp OLED screen. It's like 10 p.m. Don't rush me, I'm hungry. The cat's mad, and August and I share a knowing look. We've pushed the guy's buttons a little too much, and we need to just let him calm down. So, August, you got the beer, right? I mean, not yet. You had one job. Max grumbles again, looking away from the two of us, instead at the flat-top grill and the svelte weasel manning it. August narrows his eyes. My sister's got it for us, okay? We'll pick it up on the way to Bold Knob. We all nod our thanks as she leaves. I drop $1 in the middle for a tip, and August does the same. Oh, I was in America, and I was doing a bike ride, and I stopped off at a dive bar one night. I was in the middle of nowhere, and there was a little town, and I went to the bar, and the beers were so cheap. The beers were like, I don't know, $1.50 or something, and, they're $12 here. And so it was just like, I just couldn't get over how cheap it was. And then like months later, when I was back in Australia, people were talking about tipping, and I was like, I didn't tip at that bar. I didn't tip at that bar. I just drank their cheap beer and didn't tip. I still feel bad about that, like 10 years later. I didn't know. I just didn't know. I was supposed to tip. I was unaware. I was just like buying stuff, and they said, this is the price, and I gave them the money. And then I drank my beers. Ugh. I don't know what to do about it. It's like, I can't go back. I don't even know the name of the place. I don't even remember the town. Conveniently, he says. Max playfully huffs as we head out of the diner. We exit out into the cold night, and then we walk over to August's car. I do wonder if these are stock photos, or whether they were taken specially for this game. Because I really love the idea that if you're making a game about your town, especially if you're like regional, or outer suburbs, that you go around taking photos rather than just, using stock photos. I actually think that's really like a super valid art style, you know what I mean? And actually super interesting. Like if you're like me, sitting in your outer suburb as a kid going, oh, how do I do backgrounds for this? I can't just take a picture of my local park or whatever, or like the local, shopping strip. Like, actually, yes, you can. You absolutely should. That is actually really awesome and actually really interesting. Because think of how, everyone sees New York on film. Everybody sees London on film. Everybody sees Tokyo on film and Paris and everything. But how often do they see your local street, in a game or on film or whatever? Be the cultural record taker for your community. You know what I mean? In 50 years... it will be the record of your town. So do it. Calling it August and then doing the possessive of it is really tough on saying it out loud. It's a tough word to say out loud. I chuckle as I hop in the passenger seat of August's sedan, while Max folds himself up in the back. As August starts up his car, he fishes his phone. He fishes his Samsung flip phone 22B17 with the wonderful OELD Super Crisp technology from his pocket and tosses his phone into my lap. We only get half an hour. I said at the start we only get half an hour of each game, so we only get a little sampling of it. And if you like it, it's on you to actually go and play it and get the full experience. I can't do all the work for you. But having said that, we are hitting up against the half hour pretty soon, and which is a real pity because this is actually a real, genuinely well-written story doing exactly what it says on the tin. I don't think we're going to get too far into it. Soon, the flat plains of downtown Perry give way to a few rolling hills where the old quarry was carved into the ground. Ah, the old quarry, where people go to smash bottles. I know it well. I mean, you probably should go to college. I chuckle, looking back at the cat. I mean, it's not like you're not smart enough. Besides, it's better than them not caring. I guess I just assumed no one would let me in. Attitude problem and all that. We are our own worst enemies, for sure. I think, sometimes I think 80% of existence is just kind of learning to just be yourself. Before I can open my mouth to speak again, the driver's side door opens and August hops in. He slams the door, letting out a hiss through his beak. Can birds hiss? I don't know. Wait, can tigers purr? Can tigers purr? Yeah, this is what I thought. Tigers cannot purr. So cats, which I'm already a bit ambivalent about because they kill a lot of native birds here in Australia, right? And frogs and lizards and stuff. But one thing that everyone agrees, cats purring is one of the greatest things ever on planet Earth. But guess who can't purr? Tigers. Deadly killer tigers. No purring from them, just teeth. He practically growls. Can birds growl? Massaging his temples. Hey, chill out. Why the heck didn't she text us that she didn't have them? She forgot she was going to give them to us. But she just texted. Dude, I don't hecking know why she forgot, alright? So there's no use in asking me. August hisses to interrupt me, and I sigh. The bird sucks in a tight breath before letting it out. Sorry yous. Sorry all. I'm just annoyed. I mean, we can grab some beer somewhere else. Max shrugs from the back seat of the car. The fact they're going around to terrorize their neighborhood, I kind of don't want them to succeed. Max shrugs from the back seat of the car as August pulls out from the gravel parking lot. Okay, wait a minute. We're going to go for one more minute, and then we're going to have to finish. But I just kind of want to see what they do next. With that, Max and I hop out of the car, heading into the liquor store. Alright, let's leave it there. We're going to save it. Back to the main menu. That was the introduction to what a day that was. I think we did 9:30 to about 10:30, so maybe not much of the game at all. That was really a real slice of life. That was real Americana and sort of rural, or not rural, but regional living. I feel like that story plays out across the entire planet and across all times, really. Different technology, different settings, but the whole vibe is the same. Just sort of young guys hanging out with each other, trying to find something to entertain themselves. I would have loved to have gotten to the queer themes a bit quicker. I think something that I really appreciated about it was that I'm pretty sure Cade was gay in that. That's the vibe I was getting off the character, even though it was not explicit, just the existence of that situation and his thought processes in that scenario reminded me a lot of myself at that age. And I was gay, so I'm going to assume that everyone in that situation is gay. It didn't need character art. I actually think the text really worked in this situation because it was well written and it did progress quite quickly, and there wasn't much repetition from what I could tell. I would have liked to have been able to inspect the backgrounds a bit closer, because they were quite good and interesting backgrounds, but they got faded out very quickly. It's interesting where your eye goes, isn't it, when you're playing a text-heavy game. The thing about text-heavy games is a lot of people skip them because, I think they think games need to be colorful and moving and kinetic and everything, but don't ignore the hidden gems, I think, this is one of them. All right, thank you so much for joining me here on. Let me get a screenshot. I interrupted the farewell to actually do why I'm here, which is take a screenshot. But okay, thank you for joining me here on Quick Games Tech. Yeah, have a good day. Bye.